And then let's click this arrow, and your basic blog is going to be live. So you're going to have a title, just like we built. We have blog posts with the dates and the styling. We can always improve that later, but right now I just want to teach a little bit of the functionality. And if we click in, you'll see it's broken because we haven't built out that page yet. So let's do that. So go back to Webflow, and we need to change our page. So right now we're on the home page. We need to go down here to CMS collection pages and build our blog posts template. So let's click blog post template, and and this is going to be the page that each individual blog post is going to look like. So let's click the plus button, and let's add a heading first. And under heading, let's click get text from blog posts, and it's going to be the name. And let's add another heading, and let's call this the maybe the post summary. I see. So let's make that like H4. And now let's add one more. We need this now to be a rich text element. So not a heading or a paragraph. It needs to be rich text because that's what the type of element that Webflow put as the blog. And the reason they did a rich text element is it allows you to edit the styling, and you'll see what I mean in a second, in the actual CMS. So you could write your blog with styling, with headers, with bold text, and all that will be automatically sent through to the final website. So let's add this rich text element, and let's say get text from post body. And awesome. So here you can see it has headers, it has quotes, it has all the formatting is coming through automatically. And let's add one more thing. Let's add a text block here underneath the header, and let's add the created on or published on. How about that? Published on. You can change the format as well, but let's just keep it at the default format. And great. So here it doesn't look great. Let's add one more thing. Let's add a section up on the top, and then let's move everything into that section. And then let's click on section, and let's add the padding section block, just so there's a little bit more padding here. And we won't add any more style for now. Let's just hit publish. And let's go back to our blog and refresh. And now when you click in, you're going to actually get to see the blog post. And this is super cool. You just built a fully functioning website quite quickly with Webflow. And now we're going to add the navbar. So let's click add, and to make this easy for now, let's go to layouts, and let's click on sticky nav right here. And let's drag this into the top. Perfect. So here you can see it's sticking to the top, and it has information about the site. So here, the first thing I want to do is go to add symbols, and let's create new symbol, and let's call this navbar, and create a symbol. So now the sticky nav is an item that we can duplicate, because we want to duplicate that to our blog page. So let's go ahead and go to, let's exit out of the symbol, let's go to the blog post template, and let's click on body, and let's add a symbol of navbar. And let's drag that in at the top. And now you can see we have the same navbar here on the blog page as we do on the home page. Now let's just change this a little bit. So let's go in. You can see there's some more complicated CSS and HTML built in, which you don't have to worry about right now. And here there's a list item, nav logo link, nav logo. So why don't we just find a logo online that you want to put in. So I'm just going to Google blog logo. And let's go to images. And I'm just going to right click and save image as. So save that, whatever logo you want. Go back to your Webflow, hit that gear, and then choose image. And then you're going to upload that image into your site. Give it a sec, click on it, and there we go. Now it's going to pull in. Awesome. So let's go ahead and hit publish. And let's go back to our home page. Let's refresh. Here you can see now the Navbar is in, and if you click on any blog post, the Navbar is going to still be there. Awesome. All right, so now let's improve the design of the blog just a little bit. And let's start with these headings. So let's go and click on this heading 1, and let's give this a selector name of blog header. And then let's change the font to Montserrat. And let's make the weight black, 900. And the color, let's go all the way to black. And let's also add some margin at the bottom. And then in this padding section, let's hit Option or Alt if you're on a PC. And let's make the padding a little bit less on the top and bottom. Cool. And let's hit heading 1, and let's change this to the blog header class. Great. So now let's update the design of these individual blogs a little bit. So let's hit this navigator bar over here, and in this collection list, which is in the item, we have this link block with the image, the heading, and the text block. So let's go ahead and add a div block and just add that, and it's up here, and you just want to drag it down inside the link block under the image. And now let's take the heading and put it inside the div block. You just have to drag it until it kind of falls underneath it. So now you can see the heading and the date are inside that div block. And let's go ahead and click on the div block. So now over here, let's add some padding. So let's hold shift and drag in to maybe 20. And let's also add some margin to about 25. So you can see here this box is below. Now let's go ahead and make the background color white. And then let's, while we're still on this div block, and let's rename it. Let's rename this blog title box. Now under margin, I just want you under the top margin, and we're going to drag it and we're going to make it negative. So now we're pulling this up. So right now this image is covering up the white box. So that's why the white box is behind this image. So you want to make sure you're still on that blog title box selector, and then go down to fit under size. Under position. Here it says static, and we want to change that to relative. Okay, great. And let's go ahead and update this heading for, let's call this blog title. And let's change the font to the same font we've been using. And I think that's all fine with the color. Maybe make it black. And let's drag the date above. Okay, perfect. And then let's also make this the same font. And that looks good. And now let's take this padding section and let's add a background color. And so if you're clicked on padding section, go to background color, and let's make it just a very barely gray, just a very light gray. So that way this white box kind of stands out. Okay, that looks good. And let's just adjust this a little bit. So let's click into this blog title box, and under padding on the top and bottom, so hold Option, and let's make that smaller. So maybe more, only like 8. That looks good. And then on the title, let's make that weight 500. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and publish that. And let's click into view. And here you can say this is looking pretty good. So we can click in. It's still going to go to that blog individual post, and this is looking a lot better. So now let's go back to the blog, and I want to line this up with the title here. So let's click into this collection item, and let's remove the padding. So here, remove the padding, and now you can see there's no spacing. So we still do want a little bit of spacing. So what we're going to want to do is change this collection list to a grid layout. So you just want to click this on collection list. Display is grid. And here you can see it's starting to put each in its own section. So just hit done. And then go back and hit this gear in the collection list, and we want to change the layout to full width so that everything is pulling in. Perfect. So this is looking great. And now you can see there's a little bit of space. You can edit the grid to change the amount of space of the layout, which is really cool. And you can also change the gap in between the middle. So here we can make that 20 by 20 instead. And we can hit done. Perfect. So let's go ahead and hit publish. And you can also edit the grid to change the number of rows and columns as well. So if you want to go in and under columns, if you want to add one, you can see it just automatically updates everything. So this is cleaner. You can see this is all aligned with our posts. So let's say this is a travel blog now. So let's just say this would say my travel tips. And that could be all the blog posts about travel. And let's go ahead and take this header that we originally built, and let's just delete that because I don't think that's important anymore.